Okay, so I want to welcome everyone to this presentation of Connecting the Physical and Digital Worlds. We have Saji Nair with us today. He is a new presenter for the Boston Business Mentors, and we're very happy to have him with us here today. As we get started, I do want to let you know a little bit about us, just in case you're new to us, because I know a lot of times the first time people interact with us is through one of our webinars. So our goal is to help the small business community. We do that free of charge. All of our mentors are volunteers and donate their time to help the economy of the Boston area. We have multiple different ways for you to learn from us. One, through our website. Lots of great information. I'm going to draw your attention to the blog section. We have a lot of fantastic articles. They're very timely. Some of them are even industry specific. Great information for you to look through. You're going to find a podcast. You're going to find templates as well. We also have our workshops, webinars, and we do have some in person, and a lot of them are online. We do record a majority of those, and those recordings are also on our website for you to view anything that you may have missed. We advertise those through our newsletter, on our website, and social media. So keep a lookout for the topics we have coming up this spring. We have a lot of really new and fantastic topics. I'm really excited about bringing those to you. No doubt the most important thing we do is our mentoring. Our mentors, as I mentioned, are volunteers. They have a variety of experiences and skill sets that they can share with you. A mentor can be different things for different people. Um, Perhaps you just need a sounding board. Perhaps you need someone to help you figure out how to overcome a challenge. Maybe you're looking for someone to help you plan to reach your goal. Our mentors can fill any of those roles. They often work together in teams to make sure that you're getting all the information you need to be successful. We work with folks that are in every stage along that path, from I think I want to start a small business to I'm ready to exit my small business. So if you're one of those people and you've got some things you'd like to talk through with somebody, use that QR code there on the screen. I'll put it up again at the end, and get yourself a mentor today. So I'm going to go ahead and pull down my share. And I would like to introduce you to our presenter today. We're very, like I said, he's a new presenter for us, and we're very pleased that he's going to share his knowledge on this topic with you today. So it's all yours, Saji.
Thank you, Teresa. And it's a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with Boston Business Mentors and share some useful information to small businesses today. Uh, I'm the co-founder and CEO of BCube Analytics, a Batoi company, and we build a lot of software products enabled by AI. And here I'm going to share something today about connecting the physical world of business to the digital world of software and how to improve the efficiencies. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so as I mentioned, today it is the main topic of discussion is connecting physical and digital worlds and how to align operations to first reduce operating cost, improve efficiency, and even scale. So, first thing is, small businesses rarely struggle because they lack software. In fact, they have a lot of them to use in their organization. And it all starts as challenges appears, you find that it's not no longer manually possible to solve them, so you start adopting different tools and processes. A great growth story, like it's hard to track appointments, so let's start getting a booking app. It's difficult to manage invoices, payments, so let's get a payment tool. It's difficult to manage, or leads need structure. So you go for a spreadsheet or you go for a CRM, right? Uh, well, visibility is very important. Social media is just not enough. Our website needs to be up to date. You go to a CMS, content management system. So all this is good. Each solves some problem, and this is a natural way to go ahead in a very small world. But all the information lives in different systems, and these things work. Only thing is, people have to look at different interfaces to make their day to day tasks completed. Your conversations remain scattered in different tools, something in software for leads, something in project management. At the end of the day, to make it work, you have to look at different places like billing, delivery, customer history. They are all at different places. And people work through them. And when you had, say, 10 transactions, it's okay. All of a sudden, it becomes 100. Then the friction multiplies and it starts to quietly consume your attention, right? And none of this is a like earth shattering thing, but these things do happen. Like, you got a message on a text to one of the team members, but it was not visible to the other people, right? Or there was a payment that was delayed because it was on a different dashboard that somebody was looking at who is not in today. Or someone asked for something and you forgot to register and you missed sending that out, right? These are all the things that quietly they start taking up your time. And it's very visible. When you started with 2 people, you grew to 8, or you were 8 and you became 15, and all of a sudden the same dynamics, they start to change, right? And this is very much understandable. And in a small business world, we often reactively adopt tools, and many times we don't think about like the overall operational world where we meet our customers and what the tool does. So that rarely is more of a thing. But yes, there are free and low cost tools. They're easy to start. You wanted to work, like you had a CRM, you got it for 25 to $30 per month, but now all of a sudden you need certain more features. You can enable them, but with 5 users, what you are paying 150 a month now requires 500 or $600 a month, because those features are only available in a higher thing. And yet it's still inside a CRM. It's not helping you look at the other parts of the customer's journey in your business, right? And also, like, founders, they will be focused on sales, team would be focused on delivery. And it's like we are just working through that maze. And is this still simple as we are growing? That question, no one seems to own it. And that's where the real challenge lies. Now, when you look at the business operations, like, what is it? Like, whether you may be a restaurant, you may be a fitness club, you may be a consulting firm, you may be a tax solutions provider, you may be a small manufacturing firm, supply chain, name any small business. Like, uh, what are the most common things that they do in their physical world of things? They have to reach out to customers to sell their products or services. They have to deliver work. They have to collect the payments, and they have to share information within the team, right? So this is your common business world. But when you look at from the perspective of like how you're doing it, you have a lot of different tools for which you pay subscription fee. You have a lot of cognitive overload because your team has to remember something to do in tool 1, something to do in tool 2, something to, you have to frequently switch context. And there is a subtle fatigue as you start increasing the volume of business. And now, one more thing that you see is almost each of those tools will also add certain element of AI, or automation that will scale up. Previously you might get 3 or 4 leads, and now all of a sudden you are getting like 50, 100, 200, depending on what space you're looking at. And it's impossible to chase that volume because of the disconnected operations. And at the end of the day, a lot of thing has to be done to reconcile data in these tools versus serving customer, and all these multiply the friction because the interactions are disconnected with the multiple tools that happen. Now, you know, one of the most overlooked areas where the sprawl appears is, as I said, connection between the physical and the digital world. Suppose you have a contact management, right? And you would be using like a scanning tool or something to add your customer into your database. But imagine when you go to your conference or you're having a table over there. Now the way you collect, bring and add, it's completely disconnected. So basically your software is not meeting you at the physical space of how you do your business, right? Now another example, let's look at a restaurant. Like, if you print static menus, first it's a printing cost, but the minute you change, it is a, additional cost. Secondly, it's completely different from where you maintain your payment links, and many times it's confusing for people to open which link, to scan which link and work on it. Now, uh, clinics, right? Clinic can be any type of clinic related to any medical service, right? So even in their end, they have different booking URLs, they have different for forms, different for payments. You have to go there and physically make payments. Your EHR is a completely different world. And in real estate businesses, as another example, like your conversations and interactions with the customer, and where you actually look at the property and related stuff, and how you manage all these are usually in different locations. And as a result, it's a lot difficult to collect and make things work. You have to physically do a lot of uh, manual efforts to make those things work. Now, naturally, there has to be some kind of consolidation. It is like, how do you look at your operational process and then align the tools? That should be a first simple step, right? That's what we are talking about over here, right? So when you're looking at your tools, now there is a big pressure. Oh, we have to do something with AI, something with automation, and something to be integrated. But if we really do not look at our operational world first and look at automation, it's going to not improve because you're just scaling the inefficiencies you have. Rather, you should ask yourself the following questions on whether my current solutions reduce my daily friction of when I am working with my customer. Does the technology align around your core operational flows, or you need to really look at how to uh, make things work so that your technology is consistent with your operations. Now, does your billing, delivery, delivery tracking, your integration of customers, interactions, and also your web or how customers reach out to you, are all these actually working together in cohesion? Now, does it reduce the number of places your team must look to actually do their daily business, right? And uh, is your solution making visibility a natural outcome to everyone, or is it like you have to again manually uh, manually work on the data at different places to get that, right? So those are some of the general questions you have to ask. And now here I'm giving you an example. Like, suppose your business reaches a moment, I need a CRM, or even if currently you're working on a CRM, like what are the core questions that you will ask today? Number one is, who is the person or the entity we are interacting with? What is the current status of our discussions? What have we discussed so far? And what happens next. If you're able to get all these informations at one place pertaining to every single customer and very easily among your team members, your CRM is doing the right job for you. Else, you have to either look to align your processes or you have to look for tools that can help you to actually get there. All right. Then these are so this is what the things that will help you to eliminate your friction. Now, another useful way to approach customer management without overloading your team is like, first, you must look at these four aspects. The first one is about identity. Do you have a clear customer record? Name, contact. Contact means email, phone, whatever is relevant to you in your business. The company and its details, like what is the context, what the customer is interested in, what are you delivering them, products, services, are they repeat customers or are they new ones, what is the history of this interaction. Like, this is the place where most people struggle, that is follow up, right? So when you interacted, are you easily able to record what is my next action and when? If this particular key element is not easily recorded, or it remains in a text message or in an email of one person, whereas another person could be taking up if the person is on leave, or you have 10, 20, 100 and you miss it. So that follow up is very critical. And last part is about visibility. So all this information, can someone in the company clearly see, right? What is up next, or how should another team member step up if needed, or where you allocate your resources. So this is all what the things you need as an outcome of your customer management solution. Now, your most CRM tools, they are currently focused on the sales cycle and the pipeline, but the customer's journey is much beyond sales, right? So you have like, if you look at this picture, this clearly summarizes your life cycle of a customer's journey until it is repeated again and again for the same customer and for every customer. Like, you have to online to interact your web, you have to manage them, like the customer record, the customer sales, etc. process. Then whatever is committed, you may have a ready-made product to be given or shipped, or you may have to do some service or some processes like in manufacturing to deliver the work. Whatever it is, there is a delivery component, and making it available to the customer, get paid, right? So this entire cycle is your physical world of where you are interacting with your customer. And for your team and for your customer, there should be minimal friction, even if you don't use the same tool to actually make this journey work, right? And I'll give you another example, payroll management. Now, if you look at the operational phases, like in most SMBs, small and medium businesses, these processes are largely uh, outsourced. Either you have a payroll tool or you have a payroll provider, but the pre payroll process of providing them the input to run your payroll is largely manual, and you need to do a lot of work to collect that, right? And once that is collected, then you have like payroll calculations, and then finally actually running the payroll. So step 2 and 3 are largely outsourced, but step 1 you still have to manage online. So you have to collect a lot of data around it, like some of them are already there once you initially have your staff, but then for the payroll period, what are the leaves, like how many hours or whatever you may have, those details have to be collected and submitted regularly and on time. So this is also another example of where you have tools, but you have to run manually. But there is a lot of friction because of your tool not meeting your physical world, right? Now, I'll will with this we'll go into a couple of cases. First, we'll take some cases in general consumer services business, and then we'll go to another cases where it is more involved, like B2B kind of process, but you can translate it to different types of businesses. Okay, so first we will talk about a simple case of how to use QR codes very effectively. Now, when we start, like QR code is some abstract graphic representation, and it's a very useful thing because every customer today more or less has a tool that is a camera that they can scan, and you can directly take them to where they want. So they are like your front end, they are like your front end of your business world, of how you want them to connect to your digital world when you're serving them. Now, the case of uh, dynamic link, right? QR code, it can remain the same. But if you had printed something in a brochure or on some other place and you hand them a printout, if something changes, you have to again go and reprint and hand them. Otherwise, they'll be looking at stale information. So here, with a QR code, you have the flexibility to go and maintain your backend and have minimal printing expenses. That's a very good use case. Then you could, when you're using your payments tool, you could actually give them a simple QR code as the output, which can be sent to them, texted, or it can be available in on an iPad when they are meeting you, and either they could click scan and they'll be taken to make the payment exactly where the invoice is published on the web, right? Now, a very useful thing to maintain bookings, reservations, wait list. This could be a restaurant, it could be a fitness center, it could be a sports stuff, or it could be any place where your customer needs to reserve some time with you or with your business or with one of your team member. So QR code can be very useful, like a person's calendar. Like Calendly is a good example. You could have it exposed as a QR code to scan, go and book a meeting, right? Then very easy tool, like give a nice location where your customer, after they have completed the service, if it's virtual or if it's in person, they are coming to your location. When they are going, a very subtle location they can scan and provide you very useful feedback instantly. Very subtle and very limited touch. So their experience can be easily and quickly recorded. And lastly, like contacts, either you can scan a QR code for sharing your contact, or you could send them a link to a form where they can scan and they are in a form where name, address, phone number can be simply sent. So it's a very useful digital tool. And the effectiveness of these apps, they depend less on technology but more on coherence, right? So it should be like, if you're having QR codes located everywhere, customer has to scan and look, it's not very good experience. But if you place a QR code strategically and provide a very good description that is very legible, that this is to make a payment or this is to make a reservation, and keep it at very limited but strategic location, so coherence will help you to make a better experience. Now, clarity and restraint, right? So again, like if you do not put it, if you put it at too many places and they are not able to see, that is bad. And second, also, if they scan, suppose they have to make a payment, they scan a QR code, it takes them 2 to 3 minutes to load your page, you have lost the purpose and the experience of the code. So it should be much um, much easier. So that's what the simple digital destination means. And lastly, they are like a good operational connector. So uh, it will be difficult for a customer to remember so many URLs because they go to do business with they they have to interact with so many different businesses to meet their day-to-day needs. So if they are not very easily and legibly made, it will be difficult for them to um, make use of that code. And at the same time, um, too many web URL links will be very difficult, but simple scan and go is a much easier operational connectivity from their perspective to your to taking them to the right spot in your digital world. Now, while they reduce uh, friction points, uh, your customers move through the entire life cycle between your physical and digital spaces. So this would be a very good valuable solution to help you streamline internally how they navigate. While it is not a very advanced tech, but it is a very simple tool that will help you in today's world to optimize your profit by you know delegating a lot of your responsibility of your team to actually make it easier for your customer to do something, and you have more time to do your work. And then these are the extensions of your daily operations, and they reduce friction, and you start doing some real digital transformation, right? So when you have all these kinds of things ready, that's when automations will start helping you in your consumer services world. And now next we are going to go into a place where a more B2B kind of a world, where how you manage your client engagement in different types of delivery, whether it is per professional services, if you're a manufacturing, if you're a supply chain, trading, or different kinds of clinics, or any of those kind of small business organizations. So here, client relationships are the core foundations of your business, right? Technical competence is expected, and it's very unlikely that you're not good at it. You are always good at it. That's why you're in business and you're having your customers. But the real challenge is about trust, responsiveness, reliability, and how you are on top of these aspects with respect to your customer experience. That's what differentiates you from your competition, right? And yeah, usually they manage, but they have a lot of friction in their operations. They'll have different roles to actually make all these things work, and different tools, and people have to navigate a lot of things, right? So examples like, uh, you'll have to send a lot of emails, and you'll be sending key instructions via emails. You'll be tracking your deadlines in spreadsheets, right? Your documents may be stored in things like Dropbox, Sharefile, uh, Microsoft SharePoint, or different tools, whereas your process management will be a different tool. Your customer's account and invoice will be at different place, and you have to really make all these things work together. And in many cases, the staff take up the cognitive effort to actually successfully deliver, whereas to generate a report, or to simply locate what is the current state, it's very difficult. And when you have more number of clients, or you have more complex relationships, like more complex delivery of your service or product, they all become they all multiply when your number of clients increases, right? And again, here challenges are rarely accounting or your any professional skill that it is involved, like it could be medical, it could be uh, manufacturing, anything. It's all about engagement management, and the scale is difficult. So that's where we struggle despite having tools. And relationship delivery and billing, they have to be a key part of your end to end engagement. And when they are independent and in different tools, the strains start getting difficult to be tracked. And when they are all aligned, or when you have a way, even if you're using different tools, if you have a way to make sure that you find it, all of them together, that's where your success and clarity improves. Now, in all these cases, your engagement follows a very predictable rhythm. If you look at, right? You have to connect with your customer, you have to define the scope. This is what we are going to do in this particular work. It could be, you know, a manufacturing order, it could be a tax planning, it could be a wealth management advisory, insurance advisory, it could be project management or professional services consulting. In any of that, you need to first define your scope and engagement, right? And then once you start, usually you have to request documents or data. Then you have to work and perform, which is like completing what the customer has requested. And then you again share or deliver the work products, digital or physical, shipping, or however, it's like the complete cycle, right? Then you send the invoices, and you have an ongoing advisory. In some cases, invoices may be sent ahead and paid, but this is your typical journey of what all is involved in your customer journey, right? And like, your technology must reduce friction at the points where the customers move between your digital and physical worlds. This is very critical, and that is not just restricted to sales, but sales, delivery, payments, and continuing engagement. So, this is if you are able to envision and work out on your operational process and then align the tech, that's where you will, even with your current existing infrastructure, you will start to see some degree of uh, efficiency as well as cost savings. And as most, this is the most important, your customers needs change, and so does your products and services. They evolve, right? And many times it is what will be your driver for growth. You will add more processes, more teams, and your tech must align with this focus, and it must meet this demand as you scale. If it requires that you have to do a lot more manual work, or you have to spend a lot more on tech to do it, there are either problems with the tech or either some challenges in your operation which you must take a look at, right? And in most cases, your business and operations must guide your tool and your AI adoption journey. And this is what will help you to continue to maintain the delight of your customer. Now, basically, um, some recommendations here, like it's always good to have very clear client contact and engagement details that are visible and available for all the relevant people, including if someone is not available, like a responsible person is not available on that particular day, somebody else from your organization should be able to see it and keep track of it, right? Then scope of engagement focus on the experiences of the user and the end goals that must be achieved to make that customer delighted or happy, right? Then, of course, um, things like files, your tasks, the privacy and security aspects of all the digital work product, your next actions, follow-ups, or what are you going to do next, right? And how you continue to ensure secure communications with your client. And lastly, about a short but a very timely note about all the interactions as they continue, which will help you you know get a visibility. And if you then use AI, then you get a broader summary of all these details, right? Now you have a lot of things. Now if you want to start looking at to bring your physical and digital world together, how do you start? So this is a very simple guideline. First, you have to look at what all tools we have, right? First, even and then you have to identify what all is overlapping, and then you have to consolidate them into a single place instead of having multiple tools to do it. And then you have to align them with billing, payment tracking, and also look at how you can utilize QR codes to make your customers journey easy. So this is a best possible path. And to do this, you should have your operational world of how your customers interact with you and your team mapped out, right? And then consolidation is important, but certain things are out of this list, which are like your core accounting systems like your QuickBook, or if you're having a ERP system to manage a lot of your supply chain and other things, or something related to regulatory compliance, or core trading platforms that in your business if it is important, or if you're in medical service and dealing with electronic health record. All these are specific to your operations. What we are talking here is where you connect with your customer, the physical world. How do you engage? So those are these systems should be connected to your end outcome, but they cannot be replaced, right? Because why? Because the replacing them will actually introduce a risk into your organization, and it will not remove the clarity, and it will not improve your clarity, because they are there for a certain purposes. And you have to create a very stable surface around your customer interaction and daily coordination. But these tools are mostly your backend core information processing that take care of some aspects of your business. And now to connect back all the things, when um, your URL links, QR codes, booking form bookings of your calendar, your forms where you interact with your customer to get information or survey or whatever that is, and payments, if they are all connected into a single operational layer, you will start getting a much better coordination, and you will start seeing a lot of cohesion. And this is something that you always desire and you expected when you started adding all these different tools to your business, right? So what should a right system do? It should bring all these aspects into one particular front end interface. It should reduce your context switching for the teams who are helping you to run the operations. It should make the daily operations visible to the rightful people, owners, or even some part which customers need to see. It should make those things visible to them, and they should be easy enough for someone to operate on a daily basis, right? And your roadmap to success, use the right structure which is related to your operations. You should have optimal number of tools, not minimal number of tools, right? Redundancy should be eliminated, but what you need. uh, if you're using a spreadsheet, use it, but make sure that it is connected and aligned and easy for the people to update it very often. You should have a very coherent flow. Like if your customer's journey is properly mapped out into your physical business, that is what coherence means. And also it should be connected with how your team is navigating through those points to help them move through that flow, right? So when these things are there, if you have 10 transactions or 100, it does not matter, because everybody knows this is how it will work, right? And it's very easy to scale. And you will not feel stressed with the growth, because for anything that comes up, you know this is the input, this is the output, this is what you have to do, and that is a repeatable process. And lastly, to align with this, we say remove the friction, not the tools, right? Now, to learn more about how you can, align, you can always contact us. These are our details, and I'm open to questions.
Okay, I don't have any questions currently in the chat, but I strongly encourage you, if there's anything lingering for you about this topic, if you have a comment, you have a question, please put that into the chat right now, and we will get that answered. I'm going to put up the QR code to grab a mentoring session if you want to request a mentor up as well. But yes, please get any your questions and comments into chat at this time, and we will get them answered because we do have time left in our schedule today. So I'll give everyone a few moments to um, type something in. I hope we have some good questions here or comments. Are there any questions that you're often asked, Saji, that we could maybe address right in the moment?
Yeah, one of the questions they ask is what tool do you recommend? So, what we tell is that there are different types of tools that are available. Like you can look for CRMs, project management tools, billing and payment tools, and some of them are integrated, like Salesforce or HubSpot. They are like a common tool that people know of. Even we have a tool which is called as Batoi Flex, which actually provides or brings all these things together. So, more important first is like to understand your operating needs and how much money you're spending. If you're spending more than $10,000, you certainly need to really, because new AI tools can help you get to lower your cost by a few $1,000s. Those are some of the areas we also specialize. Uh, but yeah, uh,
Yeah, that's a great question, or often asked question that you gave us an answer to. So thank you very much for that. So I guess I'm not seeing any questions at this time, but I will include the contact information as well as the recording, so that if anyone does think of a question, we'll get that answered for you. So I want to go ahead and thank everybody for joining us today, and thank you to our to Saji for giving a great presentation on this topic. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
thank you so much. Please reach out if you have any questions anytime.
Thank you.